What is going on? Good morning, everybody, man. How are we doing? So much hate in such a beautiful, important circle. I can't even call the FKR free can read a movement because the movements move forward. And I don't see anybody moving forward right now. All I see is what Turtle Boy did, tuberculosis. Shout out JFK, Kevy Kev, Jay Brill. You know what I mean? I see them three guys, and sometimes I think that they're on, an island on their own trying to push this fight. But now I see the spaces that we had about the Nan Gallica, friend or enemy, and all this stuff is being pushed out by Aiden Connie, with all the burner accounts. Look, I rocked with Turtle Boy. I liked Turtle Boy, and then the minute he got exposed for recording, a trusted source. Never mind it's Karen Reed. He got recorded. He recorded a trusted source. And then you have, the lady and the tramp, Jessica Machado, and trust me, the Swansea Possum Belly Queen. Back in high school, Machado was like the queen of the house parties. Y'all know. It's a small world. And like I said, Boston goes way beyond the boundaries of Massachusetts. So you have Jessica Machado saying that, oh, he's just documenting it, for future, he's a reporter, a journalist. No, he is no journalist. I'm not a journalist, and I've been doing this for 8 years. And people say, where'd you come from? Oh, I always been here. I kind of been watching from the back, and because of contracts that I had, I couldn't really, talk about this stuff. So, I did a lot of high school football stuff. But now that's all done. So now we can concentrate on all this bullshit that's going on inside this circle. And when you talk about freeing people that are incarcerated and people that were wrongfully convicted, that stands dear to my heart because of situations that I've been in and situations that I know. And who is going to take any of these people seriously? I told you yesterday that Turtle Boy does no investigative work. I challenged him. He blocked me because he's a bitch. He's a straight up bitch. And then now everybody's putting all their eyes on attorney Nan Gallagher. And let me tell you, I don't know attorney Nan Gallagher from a hole in the wall. But what I will always stand up on is when people are being attacked. I grew up with, around a lot of positive females in my life, my grandmothers that were abused by every man that came in contact with them, down to my aunt. All my life, I seen women be attacked. So now that I'm an adult, when I see it, it just rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean? And it really does. And we did a song about um the positive females that were role models in my life growing up. And let's not get it twisted. They were my mother, my father. They were, that's all I seen. I didn't really have much of a life with my father. I mean, I known him, but he was always on the go. So here's a shout out. Here's a song to all the positive women that helped mold your life. Whether your grandmother, your wife, you know, my wife's another one. I couldn't imagine how life would be, you know, if I didn't have my wife to wake up to every morning. So shout out to her. I wouldn't be able to find my socks. I mean, I don't even know where the coffee pot is, but shout out to everything that she does, and shout out to what all the females do for their husbands, holding them down. Oh, that's right. So for every queen that raised me, I honor their fight. So shout out. Shout out to everybody out there holding it down. We're gonna get into what are they called? The YouTube presentation. Okay, I seen the spaces. I listen to most of the spaces and I listen to some more of it. But I see so much hate in this circle because this is no longer a movement because a movement's move forward. There's so much hate for someone like attorney Nan Galligar. She donates to bloggers, she supports people financially, shows up for causes. But inside the free Karen Reed circle, she gets hit with hostility, suspicion, and nothing but motherfucking hate. I know, excuse my language. Yes, she gets hit with nothing but hate, and you try to understand it. So when people say follow the money, it seems to me that maybe when the money dried up on their accounts or they weren't getting hit with the money anymore, they started attacking Attorney Gallagher. And this is a reputable attorney, someone that has a professional life and someone I guarantee, which I know by experience, she has the power to take your channel down. This free Karen Reed circle, they don't know the rules of YouTube. And I know because I was up to 7,000 subs. And my whole channel came down like that. And I started reading and wow, so I got to say, anyone that uses my content to destroy me or to try to hurt me or talk negative, you want to use my content, that's cool. But the minute you use my content to try to shame me, to try to ridicule me, oh, you're going to get hit with a motherfucking copyright strike so fast your head's going to spin. I don't play. So, whatever. I built my last channel up to 7,000 followers. I got back into this. I really didn't want to, but when you see all the hate inside a movement that's helping get people out of prison, like who's going to take anybody seriously? All that piece of shit Turtle Boy did, Aiden Connie, that woman abusing POS. You know what I mean? He blocked me because he couldn't take the heat. He came across a real one that had the information. And what he do? He blocked me faster than anything. And then you got his little sidekick over there pushing all that hate. Will, I need a motherfucking dentist glare. You know what I mean? You have somebody like him, it's like that's the guy that you chose. And what I can't understand about his peoples, it's like Will DeGlera, I broke it down yesterday. Like, here's a man that physically abused a special needs child. And he said, I had that boy put up his fist and I gave him a beat down. And it got very, very bad. It got very, very bad. You know what I mean? And back to Turtle Boy, if we wrote down the names of people who have been associated with him, and then you go back and write what happened to each of them. Look, Lindsay Gattani, right? I know she's back in his wheelhouse, but she accused him of assault. He went to jail, not over Karen Reed. He went to jail over Lindsay because she said he went up in her. And she said no, and whatever it was an assault. Now they appear together, united by convenience, not truth. You put me in jail, there ain't nothing you could say to me, nothing you could do to me. I don't need your help. Just kick motherfucking rocks. Karen Reed, his boundary breaking behavior contributed to her phone being seized. He secretly recorded her. That's a rat. That's a sleazeball. That's a scumbag. He admitted to it. He shared it. He laughs at it. Do they talk anymore? Where is their association? Where is their association? It expired. Don't need nobody like you in my life. It expired. 1 second, I have to delete one of my banners. I just had too many. Their association expired. And Cameron Reed will never align with Turtle Boy. Guarantee, like, no, and like, my boy James says, how do you know I haven't talked to Cameron Reed? Which I haven't, but it just sounded good to say. So we got Cameron Reed, we got Lindsay G, the other girl, Lindsay, she associated with him. Their relationship ended, and what'd he do? He publicly harassed her. And now I think the case is in New Jersey. You got the lady Donna who was helping him raise money. He turned on her too. She ended up facing new legal issues connected to his fucked up behavior. And then you got the lady, Kara, his ex-girl, right? He publicly humiliated her as well, claiming it was content. How about Mike Crawford? Shout out to Money Making Mike. I would put money against Money Making Mike against Turtle, Will Glare. And I said, why don't we set up a public boxing match for charity? And the money will go to Karen Reed. And I can even probably help provide a neutral site, where it's just over the border in Rhode Island. It'll be neutral. But Mike Crawford, a supporter who raised significant funds for him, repaid him by what? Trying to set him up in Wisconsin and getting trolls to destroy the Young Jerks platform. And shout out to the Young Jerks. Clip this. See this pattern? It ain't complicated. It's not hidden. It's consistent. Now, what I laid down over the last 2 days, you got a foundation. I'm telling you who the bad players are, the personal attacks. And now we're going to get into Nan in just a minute. But what do we learn from all this, right? Turtle Boy is corrupt. Turtle Boy, Will Glera, the friggin' idiot Aunt Debbie. Like, I don't know. I could never call a man Aunt Debbie, but, his mind is so fucking warped. But a corrupt mind cannot fight corruption. So what did they do? They just did what Turtle Boy was doing before Karen Reed existed. Not existed, but before, he blew. And yes, he did definitely get the shit out there, but he don't own that shit. All right, it's just because you was the first. Cumberland High School. Chris Skirka was sending dick pics to students. And guess what? I got him out of there. But I didn't own that story. I don't own that situation. Yeah. I take some credit in getting, a predator out of another public school, and he's not the first. I've been doing this for 8 years. We got rid of some shoddy ass football coaches that was stealing money, that locked special needs kids in the closet. You look at Charlie B-Ball up there at Rogers. And I'll play that video too. One of his special needs students got slapped with a belt by members of the football team. But Rogers is okay with that, I guess. But that's another story. That is another story. So when we get back, right, we're going to get into the hate for Nan Galligar inside the Free Karen Reed circle, man. I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. You know what I mean? Let me try to find a good one for y'all. Here's a song, that we wrote for all the girls inside the high schools that are fighting transgender, in sports. It's called Stand for Her. All right, man. Shout out to all the girls, trying to move on, trying to get degrees, move on to college, but you don't realize the number of young high school girls that are being losing scholarships because you have boys that identify as girls, weightlifting, wrestling, no matter what, no matter a girl can do, a woman you can't change the DNA matter. Now, if you want to be transgender, that's on you, but you shouldn't change the way that I live. I shouldn't have to worry about when my little girl goes to school that the school can hide it from the parents that your son, your daughter is going to school and playing and getting dressed at school as someone of the opposite sex. And it's in the school policy that they can hide it from the parent. The school will let the kids change their names in school. So if you have a girl, like you have a transgender kid like Will DeGlera, who's always fighting with the woman inside him. And when he goes to school, he plays dress up and puts the dress on. You can't really tell his parents. It's against school policy to tell the parents that your son is playing dress up at school. So, you know, um, I think that's a serious problem. But let's get into this Nan Galligar, man. People are upset, man. Upset at Nan. Why? Oh, and everybody, my Cash App is in the top left corner of the screen. Somebody asked me earlier, do you have a Cash App? Can I send you super chats? No, you can't send super chats because we still building up the YouTube algorithm, still building up the subs. So go over there and sub to the page, man. YouTube at Can We Keep It Real? One word. Really appreciate that. But hey, I'm never gonna turn down any kind of donations because let me tell you, I built a lot with this. I'm looking at 3 computers in front of me. I got the green screens, I got the mic, I got the Go XLR mixes. You know what I mean? I got the Roland synthesizer. I have everything that you would need for a studio. So I definitely invested well over 25 grand, overall. All right, so we're gonna get into this. Shout out to everybody inside the free Karen Reed circle, man. But all the suspicion and outright hate is just crazy. But let's look at the dynamics of that movement, the reaction. Is it really about her? Or is it about the power, the control, and the insecurities of these little men? These little men. And the lady and the tramp. And I think y'all know the lady and the tramp is Melanie Little is the lady, and Jessica is the tramp. I mean, Jessica's words, she's a whore all the time. So don't let me say it. She says she's the whore. But Lady and the Tramp is Melanie Little is the lady. I don't know why. It just works. I guess they can either one of them can be the tramp allegedly. So, if we break down the forces at play that actually make the pattern make sense. So movements like this or circles like this, they develop an unofficial power structure, power failure, people who want to be gatekeepers, influences, or the loudest voices in the room. But when someone like Nan Galligar stepped in with resources, with credibility, she has her own relationships, and she's independent. She made it in life, and it just threatens people who rely on being the center of attention. And none of these men can handle when there's a woman in the room that's stronger than them, whether it being she's definitely financially stronger than everybody, she's independently stronger than everybody, and it just threatens these guys. It threatens the weirdo Jimmy. It threatens the POS woman abuser predator Aiden Connie, allegedly. It threatens the guy that beats special needs children. It threatens Will Blair, who has a 10-year suspended sentence. They just don't give 10-year suspended sentences out for nothing. And here's a man that says that he's never been arrested or in trouble. You lie. You lie. You said it yourself. You're a 50-year-old loser. See, these guys, they want to be the only conduit of money, influence, or information. And then they come across a donor, we'll call it, right, who acts independently. They're just breaking that shit all down. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that Nan Galligar can't be controlled. That's the real trigger. She don't need your platforms. She doesn't need your approval. Don't rely on your audiences, and don't play into all their drama. And these people, listen, these people rely, they thrive, they live on manipulation. They live on the attention to resent anyone that they can't control or intimidate, and they attack. I'll be getting it soon. So they frame independence, right? Oh, we're fighting for the First Amendment. You don't even know what the fucking First Amendment means. First Amendment stands for, yeah, you got free speech. You can say whatever you want. But then you got to expect the consequences. There's consequences for what you say. See, free speech isn't so free. Lady Liberty needs glasses. It's just insecurities disguised as outrage. That's the problem. They have insecurities. You know, they're just little old peons, man. Who is Turtle Boy without all of this? All right, you got a character in the movie that the character is nothing like you, but he got your name Turtle Boy. Okay. You know, but I think Nan's generosity exposes the grift. And if you want to donate to my channel, it's cashapp.com at Can We Keep It Real? You know, hey, you know, this blogging is tough, you know, standing in front of a screen. Sometimes I sit in front of this screen for a while, not realizing, you know, what to do, what to say. You know, you get in a car or you figure all your shit out and you're like, all right, this is going to be a great, great show. And then you get in front of the screen and you just don't really know what to say. But let's check some of this. Let me see where I was. Let's check some of what the Turtle Boy War Room, Nan Galligar, friend or enemy. I think I was already up on 22 minutes, so there was enough. One second.
What is referred to as the window intimidation case, because it really is.
If you have sound, can someone just let me know in the comment section?
Recording of someone,
so I don't have to put my other computer on.
Report that to the police, right? But Nan Galligar recorded this on her phone. Nan Galligar was there, then the Turtle Boy, and I think the Glare, and whoever else was outside of the pizzeria recording it. And Nan Galligar replied, here's someone called Table237 says, but this was all Nan's fault. And it's a picture of the window intimidation case of the dinosaur arms and Turtle Boy doing the dinosaur arms. I can't say that I've ever been afraid of someone doing dinosaur arms, but I guess there's a verse for everything. And Nan Gallagher says, there will come a time when I will speak of this event and respond to the clueless assholes who have offered stupid legal opinions on my role or responsibility that evening. Out of respect for the legal process, I will wait. I'm a witness, you know. Who knows whom I have been approached by? This sounds to me, I don't know about you, this sounds a bit to me like, sort of like a threat in some ways. To me, this does sort of sound like.
Well, Nan's the only one that can kind of. She has the full audio of what happened. I mean, and I can't blame what Turtle Boy and Will did. They were pretty close, though. Will Blair looked like he was way up in Turtle Boy at that moment, and I think they were both liking it. But you can't control Nan for that. It was two drunken men acting like a moron.
In some ways, like a threat. It's like, you better be nice to me. Be nice to me. Or else, wink, wink. Who knows whom I may have been approached by? Is she hinting that the Massachusetts State Police have approached her? Is this a tactic to intimidate potential people involved in this case by saying, "Be nice to me, otherwise, it's not going to work in your favor when I testify." I don't know. Wink, wink. Then someone replies, this person's name is at Bizarre Biatch. She quotes her and says, "There will come a time," and then says, "How many times have you said that in the past year?" I don't follow Nan Gallagher too much, but I'm guessing that's something that she says a lot of. That is really funny that she's being called out on that. So the threats by Nan Gallagher, like, it be nice to me, or when I testify, this will work out unfavorably for you.
I mean, she is an attorney. I'm sure she's going to go into court and testify to the facts. I don't think she's going to put her license in jeopardy.
This isn't sitting right with me, because I am of the opinion, right? This is just me. People might differ in their opinions, but I'm of the opinion that if you want justice for John O'Keefe and you want justice for Karen Reed, then ideally you should also want to support efforts in Turtle Boy's case, where he's helping to expose the criminality.
All right, now that was yesterday. Like, Turtle Boy exposed it. Yes, we supported Turtle Boy at the time of that. But Turtle Boy rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and we don't agree with the things that he has done. Now, if that is a bullshit crime, then why is his sidekick, right, Willie Boy, why is he threatening to lock up JFK for similar things if he don't believe that Turtle Boy that's a crime? It's a bullshit crime, right? Then why are you trying to attack JFK? Threatening to put him in jail. Yes, big shout out to the lady and the tramp. Big shout out to the lady and the tramp. But why the hell are you trying to put JFK in jail? See, I think her generosity exposes what these people really are, because she donates openly, generously, from what I'm hearing, but it highlights who isn't doing that. Has we ever seen Melanie Little open up her wallet? We're gonna go and take a look at what some of these people make, to let you know that Turtle Boy definitely has a lot of fake. See, Turtle Boy's channel is mostly they're mostly purchased subscribers. They're here we go, Turtle Boy Live. They're purchased subscribers. They're purchased views. Let me see. Share this instead. Okay, here we go. This is Social Blade. What Social Blade is, it tracks all the YouTube algorithm. You know, it basically tells you what all of these guys are doing. See, Turtle Boy has a total of 2012 videos, which is kind of not really a lot. 35 million views, created November 2017. A C plus grade. These are his rankings. 2,161st subscribers rank. Now he's not going to make money for all the bots, right? So views in the last 30 days, 779K. Subscribers in the last 30 days, your boy is down a Geno. So he's telling you that he's gaining subscribers. He's not. He is down 1,000 subs for the last 30 days. Now, the monthly estimated earning, they're not going to show you exactly. They're going to show you a low of what they made on their channel, and a low was $198, and a high was 3.2K in a month, which is pretty good. Now let's look at his yearly before we go to look at what every day he's making, right? Yearly estimated, the low 4.2 and the high is 67K, and I bet that was like in the last year, probably like right around the trial. Oh, wait a minute. All right, you got it. All right, I just wanted to make sure we were both on the same. It looks like I have two Social Blade accounts up. But all right, so this starts off on January 11th. You know, his subscriber count is 164,000. Now, we also learned that 155,000 subs are dead subs. So there's subs that don't even interact with the channel. His views out of 164,000 people, 31,000. It's an average 36. 34. Now you look at this. His highest was on a Thursday night, January 15th, 2026. And he had to do 3 videos to get up to 134,000 views. Now, they're not watching the entire thing. It's just people that clicked on. A lot of people click on and leave. So for a low that day, it was $76. See, Turtle Boy streams probably never go into green. And anybody that ever, did YouTube, anybody that ever was in YouTube Studio, it basically tells you once you're monetized that you're yellow or you're green. If you're green, you get full monetization. Somebody like JFK probably never gets to green because JFK is not into it for the advertisers' money. He does very well with his super chats, stuff like that. I mean, JFK has a very green chat, which means a lot of JFK's listeners are members, but Turtle Boy, not so much. So for a low, was 76 and 1.2 thousand. But look at this dude. This dude is not even making minimum wage. So, of course, he needs to allegedly take from that defense fund. That's why he really needed that fundraiser before Christmas. Shit, Christmas Eve's coming. There was a lot of talk about Betero bouncing. So your boy has a low of $8 to $126. Look, the highest he could have made, the highest, which we know he's not going green because of his filthy mouth. $145, $93, $184. Your best day right here, 1.2 thousand, $33, $138, $113, $73, $35, $119, $231. All right, now you're catching up to what I'm making in a day at work. So I have a job, and so You know, he did good that day. $84, man. I wouldn't leave the house for $84. $18. Look, daily average negative 33 in the last 14 days. He lost the last 30 days, negative 1,000 subs. So people are kind of seeing they're not really messing with the friggin' turtle. Monthly gain views for Turtle Boy Live. You know? Yeah, that was right up there then. 3.5 milli for the month, 2.5. But look at his average. Bang, you know? Down and down and down. And then you could kind of see where the content goes. And then right around the 22nd, 23rd, that's when a lot of these guys get paid. So let's look up the Galligar. $9 million overall views, 48,000.9, which now also I bet a lot of them are purchased views. Subscribers for the last 30 days, Will, 0. So for on a year basis, this guy's making 13,000. That's the most. Monthly earning $897. That probably matches his disability check. So let's see what Will is making, right? Come on, people. This guy is broke. He called Will Galligar actually called his subscribers bitches. Because he's saying that's who paid for him to fly the boss. Oh, these bitches. Them bitches are your subscribers. So $2 to $26. $37, $55, $21, $39. You're not even working for gratuity. $12, $26, $43, $12, $128, $12, $42, $12. Actually, he's doing better than the fucking turtle. Weekly average plus 100. Last 14 plus 100 plus 20 plus 43. These are all the videos he's done. So this is how many videos. He had to do 43 videos to make between $56 and $897. So don't let these guys fool you. Don't let these people fool you. They're not making no money. They are not making any money. And that's why they want to continue to attack people like JFK. And the whole attack on Nan is being promoted by Turtle Boy. He's going after a witness in his own case. All these burner accounts. Like Turtle Boy, I think you need to walk on some eggshells. You know what I mean? But these people, you know, the bloggers are taking donations. They keep large portions. There's no transparency. And they attack anybody who questions them. Well, I'm questioning all the whole misfit group who are all anti Karen Reed, the lady and the tramp, the fucking turtle, Will Galligar. You know what I mean? Auntie fucking weirdo. A donor who gives without drama makes the grifters look small. So they flip the script and they attack her instead. But that's only because the money dried up. Let me tell you, if she was still giving the Galligar money, he wouldn't be talking so negative. He just wouldn't. He would not be talking so negative. He's just addicted to chaos. The Free Karen Reed movement has been fractured by what? By egos, right? By live stream drama, vendettas, and people that just insert themselves into the case. You know, so the attorney Galligar doesn't participate in that, right? She stays professional. focused, calm. But these other idiots are addicted to chaos. Calm is a threat to them. Guys like Will Glera, guys like, the the fucking turtle. You know what I mean? And that's perfect name, Turtle Boy, because he's definitely a boy. Yes, Nan Galligar represents a threat to them. Yeah, Nan Galligar is a version of the movement that isn't built on bullying. That's what I think Nan Galligar represents from what I seen on the outside looking in. A lot of these, look, some of these voices in spaces, they target vulnerable people. They weaponize their platform. They create enemies just to stay relevant. But from what I see about Nan's approach is that stay supportive, very constructive, and I don't think she's rooted in humiliation. She's just exposing how toxic this behavior can actually be. Yeah, absolutely, man. The hate is simply just projection, right? I mean, when someone's jealous, they're insecure, they're threatened, maybe they're losing their credibility, they're going to project those feelings onto the people that actually triggered them. And what Gallagher becomes a symbol, not a person. See, they're looking at it as a cash symbol, and they just hating because the super chats ain't coming their way. And no, let's be clear. No super chats here. I can't even get super chats.
Yo, let's take it back. Back in time, Rhode Island Pride, we ready for the show. Yo, let's take it back to 32. Rhode Island football, it's a dream come true. Burrowville Broncos leading the pack, 24 titles. Never looking back, Gennaro Ferraro got that winning knack. 6 Super Bowls, always on the attack. Rhode Island Pride, yeah, we rise and shine. From the field to the court, our talent's divine. Champions in the game, we got that grind. High school legends, the best you'll find.
From the turf to the court, we're unstoppable. Rhode Island's finest, always top shelfable. Victories in our souls, yeah, we rock it right. Champions forever, keep shining bright.
West Warwick's next, just 2 behind. 22 championships in the winning kind. West Pennington's crew on the verge of glory. With number 23, they'll write their story. Hendrick and Strong, 20 titles in hand. Every season we hustle, every play is planned. Legends in the making, history in the frame. Rhode Island hustle, you remember the name. Let's pay homage to the grind and toil. From the fields to the courts where the dreams uncoil. Every cheer, every shout echoes in the night. Sportsmanship and pride keep our spirits light.
Yo, from the sidelines to the final game score, we rise, the tide can't keep us from the shore. Title after title keeps the fire alive. Rhode Island Kings, together we thrive. Yo, from the sidelines to the final game score, we rise, the tide can't keep us from the shore. Title after title keeps the fire alive. Rhode Island Kings, together we thrive.
So here's to the past and the legends we build. With every touchdown, every moment fulfilled. From Burrowville to Warwick, no one can compare. Rhode Island Pride, man, we taking it there. Twisting fate in our favor with every play we make. The heart of a champion, nothing's at stake. We shine like gold, never dim by the cold. Rhode Island dreams, forever bold. Yo, so let's take it back. History's not just a scroll. Rhode Island football, we playing for the soul. Oh! Oh! We ready for the show.
Okay, we back. We back. I just needed a quick break, man. With over here talking about attorney Nan Galligar, a lot of hate going around, all being produced by the turtle. The turtle is dead.
Yeah. Another chapter closed. Coaching life on the run. Stanley Dunbar. Man, what have you done? From Portsmouth Abbey to Suffield. Here we go again. Gotta keep moving, like the wind to a friend. Stanley came in, light shining bright. Portsmouth Abbey thought he'd stay for a fight, but he packed his bags like a rolling stone. Just another brief tenure, always alone. Assistant at Portsmouth Patriots. It's true, then to Coventry, head coach with a view. Westerly Bulldogs made some noise, but time flies fast and it's time to rejoice. Moves on again, can't settle down. Is he running or just chasing the crown? Stanley Dunbar, a nomad on the scene. From one school to the next, living the dream. 3 seasons max, that's the rule of the game. Wondering what's next, he's no one to blame. Is it the challenge or the fear of the grind? Always on the hustle, leaving it behind. Coaching life, a carousel that spins. Dunbar's journey, where does it begin? Lights flashing bright, but the spotlight fades. Does he chase respect or just run from the aid? Portsmouth Abbey, thought this would be it, but 5-month plans turned into a split. Now the Suffield Academy, he's got the call. Do they really want him, or is he nothing at all? Moves on again, can't settle down. Is he running or just chasing the crown? Stanley Dunbar, a nomad on the scene. From one school to the next, living the dream. Can he commit, or is this all a show? Fleeting promises, how far can he go? Dunbar's coaching track record speaks loud, but can he stand firm amidst the crowd? Portsmouth Patriots, he made some dents. Coventry Ogres, now that's what he meant. Westerly Bulldogs, the tenure was brief. Wondering if this time will bring him relief. Stanley Dunbar, the journey's not done. Another move made, playing the game for fun. Yo, Eric Rube, let's dive into this mess. Your selection's just a popularity contest. You don't even watch the games, that's a shame. Only hugging up the coaches, playing their little game. Playing caring with your kids, that's apparent and low. Running to the 80, throwing if it don't fit your narrative flow. No more jungle fever, you say you stand for Stan. All up on Washington Dunbar, what's your plan? What man says that? Begging the townies for a seat named in your honor. But you're just a joke, man, a big old goner. You're smiling in the spotlight, but it's fading away. Eric, what you doing in this basketball play? Chasing empty dreams, think you're making a wave, but you're just a punchline caught in a cave. Yo, smiling in the spotlight, but it's fading away. Eric, what you doing in this basketball play? Chasing empty dreams, think you're making a wave, but you're just a punchline caught in a cave. You're working for a corporation, think you're all that, but worried about can we keep it real? What's up with that? A blogger with no degree is twice the journalist you'll ever be. How many kids you exploiting just for views? We'll see. Next track, we'll unpack that little scheme, but first let's focus on your aim. Get it up, it's a dream, so next time you take a shot, make sure you're on target, cause right now, Eric, you're just a punchline in the market. You're smiling in the spotlight, but it's fading away. Eric, what you doing in this basketball play? Chasing empty dreams, think you're making a wave, but you're just a punchline caught in a cave. You're smiling in the spotlight, but it's fading away. Eric, what you doing in this basketball play? Chasing empty dreams, think you're making a wave, but you're just a punchline caught in a cave. Now you aligning with the likes of the phony. No substance, no style, man, you just a crony. Trying to ride the wave, but you don't surf the tide. Misguided motivations, better go and hide. While you're out here flexing, I'm debunking your bluff. The real game is respect, and you ain't got enough. So skate back, Eric, pick up your game. Stop playing politics. politics, it's all just a shame. You trying to sell dreams, but you can't even skate. You sinking in the heat, man, just seal your fate. So Eric, take a moment, it's time to reflect. Are you in it for love or just searching for respect? Kicking back on this beat, I'm spitting some truth. With every bar I lay, I'm reviving the youth. Let's level the field, no need for the guys. Time to step up, Eric, open your eyes.
I mean, if we're gonna make this movement, because there's a chance to do a lot of good in this movement. There's a chance to do a lot of good. But when we got so much hate going around, bloggers attacking other bloggers, this isn't what it is, man. Turtle Boy's trying to turn this into what he used to do before he fell on to this movement. That's all he's doing. Karen Reed doesn't like me. Absolutely. Absolutely, bros. Absolutely. Shout out to Coach Najee, man. Coach Najee was just up in the chat. Coach Najee was over there at UMass Dartmouth for a while. Tight end coach over there, had a couple back-to-back championship rings. But in the end, people hate on the real. Sometimes they hate on what's real. But where is it? I'm trying to look for something. Here we go.
Yo, let me tell you about a coach named Najee. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The rumor's spreading wild, but
the rumor's spreading wild. Coach named Najee.
Football school said he got let go, but that's a false narrative, just so you know. Back-to-back champs, yeah, he brought the heat. At your mass Dartmouth, they could not be beat. Yeah. Players striving unity in the team. Now they spreading lies, but we know the dream. Najee Barrow standing tall. Now let go, he answered the call. Evaluating future, make his own way. This coach is moving on, brighter days. Ain't no dismissal, just a fresh start. Yeah, time for reflection. Playing it smart, championship rings. He's got the bling, now he's looking forward. Hit a freedom ring, yeah. Ain't no dismissal, just a fresh start. Time for reflection, playing it smart, championship.
Yo, let me break it down. Let's set the scene. A story about a coach. You know what I mean? Yeah, let me tell you about a coach named Najee. Rumors spreading wild, but they don't faze me. Football scoop said he got let go, but that's a false narrative, just so you know. Back-to-back champs, yeah, he brought the heat. And you messed up move, they cannot be beat. Players thriving.
Ah, shit. All right, man. There it is. Shout out to Coach Najee Barrows, who's up there at UMass Dartmouth. UMass Dartmouth's just another program that just spells corruption with Massachusetts, especially their head coach, Coach Sylvester, which we should get into how Sylvester, how I think his spouse or his girlfriend runs the where you give the money to. You know what I mean? For room and board. And there was kids that were really struggling. And Coach Sylvester was kind of like, F you, see you later, man. But I know for a fact there was coaches on UMass Dartmouth that was paying for kids' tuition. And Coach Sylvester, I think that's against the rules, actually. You know what I mean? And you knew about a lot of grimy shit going on, but that's just more corruption going on out there in Massachusetts, but shout out to UMass Dartmouth, go follow their football program or go follow back for the last couple of years. They had some good shit, that was going on. But yeah, we talked a lot today. We talked about all the bullshit going on, all the hate for the attorney. We told you before the Karen Reed case, what the little turtle was doing, the same bullshit, reliance on public records, absence of no reporting, he gets fixed on vulnerable people. I told you the type of people that he goes after, single mothers, they're not married. You know what I mean? So, like, this is what your little turtle is. And just, I can't believe how people can support somebody as disgusting as that. And, if we talk about, the lady and the tramp, there's another pattern. Jess Machado talks about or reacts to Nan Galligar, and you try to make sense about it. When someone seems so fixated on another person, especially like online spaces and local commentary, it says more about the dynamic about themselves. How upset they are at themselves. The handshake with her husband, totally disgusting. But some of these creators latch onto a figure because why? It drives engagement. It gives them, a recurrent villain role. I'm the villain. Hey, you said this lady should get out the country, that we should have a public hanging. Like, it's easier to do that, to develop new material. But the lady and the tramp is just going to keep circling back to the attorney. It's why? Because the audience reacts negatively. Personal grievances disguised as commentary. A lot of this stuff is what looks like an obsession. That's what it looked like. Why did Turtle give Jessica an interview all of a sudden? Why? She was a good doggy. She was a good little turtle. Jealousy. She needed that moral support, a desire to control this narrative. And if Nan Galligar is such a polarizing figure in certain circles, people like Jess Machado, they keep referencing her because it's positioning them within that system. Maybe like a badge of identity. Because the projection just in local dramas, someone fixates on another person because they think that that person represents something they can't stand in themselves. I mean, look, nobody's fat shaming, but you have to look in the mirror. And you don't do nothing to improve yourself. It shows it on your streams. Nick, can I get 6 chocolate-filled donuts and a Diet Coke? Huh? Yeah, let me get a bagel, stuff it with everything. It's just like you don't show that you're trying to improve yourself. You have to brag about buying a computer, $1,000, the most expensive purchase that I have ever made in my life, besides a house to buying a car. And you started crying. the disrespect is on a whole new level. I just think it needs to stop. Because nobody's gonna take this movement seriously. We had a good opportunity to really do something here. You know what I mean? We had a great opportunity to push forward here. But all the negativity, the backwards, race.
Yo, we living in a storm. You feel the heat. Cease and desist, the letters drop on the concrete.
Yeah, how many times they served them, count the notes again. Hold against it high, yeah, we know the names cause they tend to pull that paper quick. It's a game they play. Palazzo, Murray, Brock, a lawsuit on the way. Lawyer up cause the guilty got the shadiest moves. Hiding behind their titles while they
Cease and desist, coming down like a fist. Teachers preaching right, but man, they don't get it. Keep it real on the podcast, we point the light. Show the world the truth, ain't no hiding from sight.
Yo, Billy, don't you have some makeup to put on? Head into the shower room, but where's the truth gone? Anna Maria, what a tale to throw around. Social media buzzing, watch the drama resound. Sleeping around campus, are you set to teach? What example you setting your message out of reach? Man, teachers doing wrong, they get them on replay. Billy's game is so weak, send her back to the play. Predatory instincts, what's the lesson to learn? You think the tables turn when it's your turn to burn?
Cease and desist, coming down like a fist. Teachers preaching right, but man, they don't get it. Keep it real on the podcast, we pouring the light. Show the world the truth, ain't no hiding from sight. Cease and desist, coming down like a fist. Teachers preaching right, but man, they don't get it. Keep it real on the podcast, we pouring the light. Show the world the truth, ain't no hiding from sight.
Yo, special man with a word like restraining orders. One for his own daughter, ain't doing this supporters. Another level low, where morals just drift. Parenting's a skill, man, you missed that gift. It's a cycle of hurt, but he don't even see the damage that he does when you lack empathy.
Teachers should uplift, nurture and inspire, but we see the shadows and they rise ever higher. Look closely, don't ignore the cries of the youth. We gotta stand together, gotta fight for the truth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cease and desist, echo through the halls they roam, but the truth won't be silenced from the kids finding home. It's a call to be better, let the past fall away. Born again, say hi, let them know we're here to stay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You want to sue me, Bailey? I'm excited to be sued. I mean, you want to sue me because I expose that you have some predatory, weird ass shit going on. There's a reason why you have a 1-year protective restraining order against your biological kid. I didn't do this. You did it. And then you lied to your school. Like Ponagansett School, people, let me tell you something about Ponagansett School. Ponagansett is in Situate, Rhode Island. Here's a school that's been in the paper for whitewashing. They've been investigated by the Rhode Island Attorney General's office for civil rights violations for treating black kids different than white kids. These are all facts that I exposed on this podcast long ago, So where did I come from? I always been exposing the fuckery. You know what I mean? And shout out to Fuckery Donuts. I always been exposing the bullshit. This weak ass reporter from Providence Journal exposed him as well, put him in a bag and shut it. You know what I mean? So I stand up for what's right. I fight for what's right. I stand on my square and I die on my square. You know what I mean? So we have a school like Ponagansett. The athletic director, facts, was fucking everything in sight, to the fact that they had to remove his door off his office like a friggin' Neanderthal because his mother was on the school committee and he got away with certain shit. His assistant, the athletic, the athletic trainer, he got caught with a carload of cheerleaders. Like, these are high school kids. He got caught with a carload of cheerleaders. He's in the back seat, no shirt on. So he got reported. Then he ends up transferring to East Greenwich High School. That's all they do, is they move around from high school to high school. And then this lady, this was the gym teacher, people. Like, it's everywhere. The gym teacher, we find out, has been banging football players, one of them particular, since his sophomore year. But it's different. It's different because she's a female and he was a male. But I asked, why is it different? What if that teacher allegedly was a male? And we find out that he was having sex with maybe a minor high school kid. It would be different, right? But because we find out it's a female, and this is the same person, her and her, because we find out it's a female, it's all right. I don't think it's all right. I think it's wrong on any level. Like the song says, teachers should uplift, but that's what we got going on, but I definitely appreciate everybody. Big shout out to Karen Reed. Will Henry, you a sucker. Shit, Will Henry, man. Don't go nowhere.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy.
Load up that queen.
We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all
wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts, yeah. Got it out the mud, got it out the mud, yeah. Really on the blood, really on the blood, yeah. Yeah, they know it's on, yeah, they know it's on, yeah.
Okay. We back. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, I just want to do that because I'm gonna knock out this live and then separate it into a couple different episodes. But I found out today that the Turtle Boy War Room mystery, they're saying it's Will the Glare. Allegedly, not surprised, very messy person. But is it Will the Glare, man? The rise of a fake room? I mean, what, for weeks, months? Anonymous accounts popped up across social media. The anonymous account is fucking great because you want to talk shit, but you want to say it behind an anonymous account. Like, say how you really feel, bro. Say it with your chest. You're not being clever. Nothing's neutral about this. This was the entire purpose, huh? To divide the free Karen Reed community and blame it on a hood booger. Because that's what you did. You say, oh, it's the hood boogers. You know what? But shout out to the hood boogers. You know why? Because if we didn't have the hood boogers, we wouldn't know this.
Did you kill her? No.
He never accounts for the fact that his blood is in that house. He never explains that away in the tape, and he would not have been able to explain that away at trial. And all of this is that Ed O'Brien has been convicted of killing Janet Downey. That's never going to change.
And that's the thing, man.
This is the story of Eddie, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The system is petty, juvenile law and politics so deadly. 15 years old, known as Big Lovable Teddy. Janet Downing, 42 years old, what's the motive? Killed in her home, young mother devoted. Eddie went in the house, the door was open. She was on the kitchen floor, laying there frozen. Eddie claims this was not what he planned to see. A man with a mask grabbed him. Be quiet. I will kill your whole family. Eddie left the house, ran up the street. Around the corner, washed up in the bathroom at Burger King. Janet was stabbed multiple times. Rest in peace. It was a gruesome murder scene. I agree. Eddie went to his work, said he got jumped, but never said a thing. What? About Janet lying there lifeless, his friend's mother from across the street. Shh. He was in the house. But Janet had a brother-in-law she kicked out for selling drugs. Said if anything ever happened to her, it's him you bring up. The night of the murder he showed up, was acting suspicious in the front yard. Gina in Virginia says he was looking for his keys. It was humid and muggy, but we were showered and neat. He was a cab driver looking for his key. Looking for a key to one of the cabs in the fleet. Yes. How did he know something happened on that street? Eddie says he is innocent, and the cab driver did it.
Who do you believe?
Believe.
DNA under Janet's fingernail unidentified. Who do you believe?
Come on.
This is the story of Eddie. 15 years old.
Life in prison.
This is the story of Janet, life taken and stolen.
For no reason.
It was the summer.
July 1995.
Do you all remember?
30 years ago, why she have to die?
15 years old, locked in a cage of murder that he always denied.
Let's go. Summer of 95. Life goes.
Now, without the hood boogers, we don't know the story of Janet. It gets forgotten about. And rest in peace, Janet, and justice for Janet, because Janet has still not got justice, my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions. So without the hood boogers, and shout out to the hood boogers, you know what I mean? Because according to Turtle Boy, anybody from the inner city is basically a hood booger. So shout out to the hood boogers, But without JFK, without Jay Brill, we wouldn't have witnessed the murder of Jigga out there in Haverhill. So shout out to Jay Brill. And you want to go attacking Jay Brill. Kevy Kev sits there and be quiet. And he listens. Kevy Kev got bars. When Kevy Kev speaks, listen to what Kevy Kev says, because Kevy Kev has knowledge. He definitely be dropping some interesting flavor in your ear. You know what I mean? As they say. But shout out to Kevy Kev. You gotta listen. So shout out to Jay Brill, Kevy Kev. We talked about James Jackson yesterday. Shout out to James Jackson. And actually, somebody from Lauren's family popped up in the chat yesterday and they said, never mind about James Jackson and never mind about, JFK. But this dude, Willie DeGlera, Lauren's family has questions for him. Because what, you didn't think it was going to actually, reach this girl's family? Yeah, I don't have super chats, but right there is the QR code for my Cash App. You can hit that. I'll leave it up on the screen for a minute. But Lauren's family, popped in the chat and said, you know what? We got questions because we don't play that shit in Boston. They said, we have questions. So now we know Will DeGlera, another fake account being exposed. Who's pro Nan? Who's pro Turtle Boy? Who's loyal to who? I mean, it don't take a brain surgeon to figure out, but these guys, their IQ is so short, is so small. Surveillance disguised as conversation. I like that. Someone just said it was surveillance disguised as conversation. God damn, they got bars. That is a bar. Surveillance disguised as conversation. I have to write that down. Clip that. God damn. Let me get one of these things out of here. Clip that. It's surveillance disguised as conversations. That was actually interesting. And we have a lot of anonymous accounts. They only work when the person behind them understands how it works, right? But in this case, they leave breadcrumbs everywhere, man. The language, things they say, the timing. Let me see. Where is that? I think I actually have. Let me pull up that. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the spaces that was. Nan Galligar, friend or enemy, Turtle Boy, War Room that people are saying. It's Willie the Glare. They say it's Willie the Glare. But people say that Nan hasn't popped up until 2025. I think is wrong. I think they didn't notice her until 2025, and I'll let you figure. And it's obvious why they didn't notice her. From 2025. Because people are not looking. They're only looking for. Let's see. Oh, I know. I gotta make the screen a little smaller. There it is. Because they're not looking. They were looking for certain things.
opinions, but today, not cool in my opinion. In fact, you seem to talk down to her. Sure, you didn't mean that, but it's how it came off. I'm not trying to be mean now, but wow. So here I'm guessing Nan Gallagher went on someone's show, and it sounds like this person wasn't too happy that it seems like Nan Gallagher talked down to another lawyer. Nan Gallagher replies, "Thanks for expressing your opinion. I was asked to join. Not my channel and not my show." There she was being invited on another show. All right. Let's take things to the present day. Let's take things to the present day with Nan Gallagher, because I seem to recall. Now, if you remember a couple of, I guess, months ago at this point, Nan Gallagher witnessed what is referred to as the window intimidation case, because it really is very stupid that you can look at a recording of someone and be afraid and report that to the police, right? But Nan Gallagher recorded this on her phone. Nan Gallagher was there the night Turtle Boy and I think the Glare and whoever else was outside of the pizzeria recording it. And Nan Gallagher replied, here's someone called Table 237 says, but this was all Nan's fault. And it's a picture of the window intimidation case of the dinosaur arms and Turtle Boy doing the dinosaur arms. I can't say that I've ever been afraid of someone doing dinosaur arms, but I guess there's a verse for everything. And Nan Gallagher says, there will come a time when I will speak of this event and respond to the clueless assholes who have offered stupid legal opinions on my role or responsibility. That evening, out of respect for the legal process.
I mean, I'm not sure if this is Will. I mean, the language don't really sound like things that
it sounds to me
that Will talks about.
A bit to me like,
so I'm not sure if that's Will.
To me, this does sort of sound like, in some ways, like a threat. It's like, you better be nice to me, or else, wink, wink. Who knows whom I may have been approached by? Is she hinting that the Massachusetts State Police have approached her? Is this a tactic to intimidate potential people involved in this case by saying, be nice to me, otherwise, it's not going to work in your favor when I testify? I don't know, wink, wink. Then someone replies, this person's name is @BizarreBiatch. She quotes her and says, there will come a time, and then says, how many times have you said that in the past year? I don't follow Nan Gallagher too much, but I'm guessing that's something that she says a lot of. That is really funny, that she's being called out on that. So the threats by Nan Gallagher, like, be nice to me, or when I testify, this will work out unfavorably for you. This isn't sitting right with me, because I am of the opinion, right? This is just me. People might differ in their opinions, but I'm of the opinion that if you want justice for John O'Keefe and you want justice for Karen Reed, then ideally you should also want to support.
This isn't sitting right with me as something else that you should write down, but I don't think Nan's gonna go to court and make up, and lie. I mean, they're a member of the bar.
Court efforts in Turtle Boy's case, where he's helping to expose the criminality going on in Massachusetts State Police. That's just me. That's just what I think, right? But here she is, Nan Gallagher, the same person that says, show up, let's show up, or whatever the fuck the saying is she says. She's threatening here to testify unfavorably against Turtle Boy in support of the Massachusetts State Police. And mind you, these are the same Massachusetts State Police who set him up. They set him up. These are the same police who framed Karen Reed. This is the same group, Chico and Tully and all these other fucks. These are the same exact people, the same players in Karen Reed's case, are the same players in Turtle Boy's case. So you're going to tell me that even though you support justice for Karen Reed, even though you want the best for Karen Reed, you're going to side with the Massachusetts State Police and testify unfavorably to Turtle Boy? Is that what you're telling me, Nan Gallagher? Is that really what you're telling me? You're going to testify against Turtle Boy? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. I'll read the tweet again, and then maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. All right, here Nan Gallagher is. Hold on, I'm going to pull up the tweet again. I went away from it. It was a little too much for me. It was a little too much for my eyes. I couldn't believe it. Nan Gallagher says, someone posted a picture of the window intimidation. Nan Gallagher here says, there will come a time when I will speak of this event and respond to the coolest assholes who have offered stupid legal opinions on my role or responsibility that evening. Out of respect for the legal process, I will wait. I'm a witness, who knows whom I may have been approached by. That's the top reply to that says, that sounds like a threat. You are a witness and it shouldn't have been. No, it's not your fault, but you're complacent in the whole thing. And what are you? I don't know what that comment says. But I'm reading into Nan Gallagher's comment, and I'm feeling like she's saying, if you aren't nice to me, I'm gonna, who knows who approached me? Could have been Massachusetts State Police. Maybe I'll say what they want me to say. Maybe you should be nice to me and stop being mean to me on Twitter, or else. That's what I'm reading out of it. I don't know if maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm crazy here. Maybe I think I'm thinking too much about this tweet. But that's what I read on a couple of days on Twitter. Nan Gallagher here, threatening, well, not threatening, maybe that's too strong a word, but implying, like, if you're not nice to me, then who knows what happens when this window intimidation case, if this window intimidation case goes to trial. Who knows? Here's 4 hours ago from Lothario. She says, if TV didn't record her, alienate her and her supporters, divide the community with passive aggressive, and then in all caps, consistent drama, and then in parentheses, i.e. with burners, and then out of parentheses, or compete with or criticize fundraisers for her, held with the movement of her, I don't know what that part is, held with the involvement of her or her family, he would still be in her good graces. Nan Gallagher here, accusing Turtle Boy of dividing a movement. Meanwhile, did she see the tweet where, did you guys heard the tweet where she says about Will DeGlaire? She says, load up on gummies and booze, stay up all night trolling others and playing video games, avoid dental health, practice how to be a parent, and suck your balls in so high they come out of your mouth and you will find clarity. That's Nan Gallagher's words, which, mind you, she would never say on YouTube. It's a completely different personality. You would never hear any of these words come out of Nan Gallagher's mouth on YouTube. But here she is on Twitter, and she has the nerve to say that Turtle Boy's dividing a movement? Turtle Boy's the one dividing the movement? Here you are attacking a major player in the Justice for Karen Reed movement. I don't know too much about Will DeGlaire. I don't know much about him, right? I know that he has a YouTube channel, and I know that he supported Karen Reed throughout this whole thing. But Lothario, Nan Gallagher, is here attacking Will DeGlaire. And she wants to talk about dividing a movement. It's just
He says, totally Willy boy with a voice changer. Then when called out, switched over. So Hood of Willie can come on and play himself. By the way, I never get a notification for this show. If you're on YouTube, definitely go and subscribe and put all notifications. I really appreciate it. Whoops, I'm set for that. That's how I got the one yesterday. Okay. Appreciate you, though. Appreciate you. Shout out to all.
it's funny to me. It's just very funny to me. All right, so we go on her page.
Shout out to everybody holding
Someone
it down.
says,
Appreciate
Nan
it.
Gallagher, man, why are
shout
you
out to
accusing Turtle Boy publicly without any evidence? I'm
the
really
long
surprised that
gamers. Appreciate
at
their
Sissy Rose
support.
99. Sissy Rose, I kind of have to agree with you. You have been very critical of Turtle Boy without any evidence. You would think a lawyer, lawyers know all about evidence. These people, they eat, sleep, breathe, and shit evidence, right? But here she is attacking Turtle Boy without any evidence. This person's wondering why she's doing this. She replies with a gif of some guy, some nerd in front of a whiteboard that says, you need to catch up. You need to catch up. I feel like maybe I missed something. But Nan Gallagher hasn't presented any evidence of anything. Nan Gallagher's accusing Turtle Boy of dividing a movement, accusing Turtle Boy of having burners. All bullshit, by the way. I've never seen any proof of any of this. Nan Gallagher saying, you need to catch up. You need to catch up. All right. Now we're moving on to this next.
Are you caught up, Willie
Nan
boy?
Said, this is a quote tweet of Melanie Little. I don't know who this person is, but
How you
Melanie
caught
Little jealous
up?
she wasn't invited on a fundraiser. And then in the replies, Nan Gallagher says, Laura Ramsey says, no, it was the dinner all the creators went to. She was big mad over that. She wants to be the only female creator. Well, FKR says, I'm not a creator. That's not the reason she put in writing on IG and also conveyed to me by the fundraiser organizer and Will, of course. Nan Gallagher definitely wants to be a creator. She wants to be a creator. If I go to Nan Gallagher's page right now, I seem to recall that she made a YouTube channel. She has 0 videos on it at this point, probably because she knows that it would be a boring ass fucking channel. But she wants to be a creator so badly. She really wants to be a major voice in the Karen Reed movement. Would be so much more entertaining than the Nan Gallagher you see on YouTube saying, show up, let's show up, or always show up, or whatever the dumbass phrase is. I would love to see the Nan Gallagher on Twitter. I would love to see the Nan Gallagher on Twitter on YouTube. Because on Twitter, Nan Gallagher says, suck on balls, and I'm not taking things lying down anymore. She has a very, honestly toxic.
She is a major voice in the Karen Reed movement, dude. She has been a major voice. Just contributions alone.
Personality on Twitter. I don't understand how this person can be hiding all of this vitriol on Twitter, but in person they pretend to be this angel. So they really pretend to be this angel on YouTube, but on Twitter it is so much vitriol, so much vitriol. I've only ever seen her be critical of Turtle Boy on Twitter, never on YouTube, never on YouTube. I've only seen her be critical of Melanie Little on Twitter, right? Never on YouTube. I think they have something people might be familiar with this called Twitter fingers. Twitter fingers. Now, Nan Galligar really does have Twitter fingers because half the shit she says on Twitter, she would never. First of all, she would never say that on YouTube. Second of all, I would never see her. She probably never would say that like in person to anyone ever. She just seems like a non-confrontational person. But it's easy for her on Twitter, right? Because when things get a little too tough for her, she can just deactivate. Oops, all right, I'm going away for a little bit, deactivate. Going away for a little, deactivate. Can't take the heat. I'm going away, bye-bye, deactivate. And then she comes back like it's her big return. Nan Gallagher's back, everybody. Nan's back. I said always show up, and I'm showing up now after deactivating for several days. Always show up, but only between trial 1 and trial 2, by the way. All right, moving on. We're continuing to scroll down Nan Gallagher's tweets and see like what's going on with Nan. I want to find out if Nan is helping the movement or hurting the movement. Is she a friend or an enemy to the movement? Because we're all free Karen Reed, right? We're all free Turtle Boy. This is a united movement. Let's see if Nan Gallagher's saying this united front against the Massachusetts State Police, because I just from what I've been seeing, right, she's dividing the movement. Here's January 22nd, a long thread. I'll just read the most recent tweet that she replied to. Someone says, your 15 minutes of fame in the form of speech bears no comparison to the time, energy Melanie put into covering this case. I don't.
So they want you to support Turtle Boy regardless if you care for what he does, regardless he's a womanizer, regardless he screws over everybody that comes in contact with him, regardless if Aiden Connie cannot stand up like a man, you have to stand behind him. If not, you're doing the movement no justice. Or you could say you could support Free Karen Reed and you don't have to have support for Aiden Connie. You could support him without supporting him. You just, who cares? The guy did it to himself. That's all. He's just he's a POS. You know what? He should have thought about this before all the burner accounts. He should have thought about this before he started, trying to get, Money Making Mike brought up on charges. Shout out to the young jerks. Go over there and subscribe to them. Before he tried to bring him up on charges, or try to set him up. But Money Mike caught the move. He done all this to himself.
I don't understand why you think you're even important enough to be compared to her. This is at JackMeOff781, Officer Jack Me Off. He says, you are the definition of an attention seeker, where any attention is good attention. It's gross. I'm going to slap a like on at Jack Me Off pens. Like, I don't need money. And she gives away enough money to try to make people believe that she doesn't need money. She's throwing around $100 bills here, $100 bills there, like she's at like a strip club or some shit. And here she is saying, I don't need the fame or the revenue stream, right? I would imagine that she says that she does this because she supports justice, right? If she supported justice for anyone, she would, if she doesn't want fame, silently donate the money and just kind of move on with your life. Why did you enter the Karen Reed space, the Turtle Boy space in the first place? If you don't want fame, or if you don't.
Exactly. It don't have to be about fame. It don't have to be about fortune. It could be about what's right. These are our attorneys, and even for, as non-attorney people, you know what I mean? They'll say, you hood buggers don't belong in trying to do something about criminal justice. Shit. Us hood buggers are the ones that end up in trouble in all these criminal justice, debacles. But you don't have to support Turtle Boy just, or the Karen Reed, oh, if you don't support Turtle Boy, you're supporting the Mass State Police. That is not true. Look, Turtle Boy, good luck in that. Good luck in what you're doing, but I don't support you as a man. If I don't support you as a man, I can't support what you're doing. You know what? Best of luck to him. I hope he makes out. Good. Go away. Go in a deep hole somewhere. Once you're free. 52 calls to the police, supposedly. Who the hell does that? Not even people in the hood. The dealers in YouTube make, but not Turtle Boy, has 52 calls in his foyer jacket. 52 calls to the police. And he built a platform on exposing snitches, but the snitches he exposed were people that he was always associated with. Exactly. Fuck the soft shell. Shout out to the long gamers out there. And let's get it straight right now. I don't know JFK, right? I don't know Kevy Kev. I don't know Jay Brill. I don't know James Jackson. I don't know Nan Galligar. But what I do know is what they stand on from what I seen from the outside looking in. And I remember JFK over there on the Young Jerks. I remember JFK over there, talking about it, his song, outside the Celtics game. You know what I mean? So I remember JFK, doing the work, so I appreciate what he stands on. When all that drama was going on, people failed to realize that when JFK went away, for the 13 days or whatever, I sent him a message. I don't know if he recalls this. And I said, bro, I know you didn't back up and pack it in. You know what I mean? And then he comes back with 37 episodes about free Eddie O'Brien. And because of JFK, Jay Brill's working behind the scenes, Kevy Kev, these guys found out more stuff than the police even knew about the cats, about Adi lying. Are you caught up, Adi? People in the hood only call the police when they have no other choice. They don't want the cops all up in their business. Absolutely. I talked about my home being home invasion, about 15, 20, a while ago. I didn't call the cops. People were like, why? Because what were they going to do? They weren't going to make it go away. They weren't, and not for nothing, but I know police officers, they're afraid of the police. Like, people are afraid of police because the police are going to take something from you. They're going to give you a ticket. They're going to take away your money that you worked for that stupid, rear tail light that's out, or you got a missing headlight. They're going to take your freedom. We see on TV, they're going to take your life. So every time a police officer's behind us, oh, why'd you get nervous? No, absolutely, I'm nervous. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. But if it wasn't for JFK, we wouldn't even know everything we know about Eddie O'Brien. And I believe the other day, I think Kevin and Jay Brill went to visit the O'Brien household, and they shared a picture. It was big. The whole family was there. I think Eddie actually called, from Gardner. And there's actually a mail address where you could send Eddie O'Brien mail. Salute to Eddie, man. But that's what we know. We know that because JFK, went on that 37 episodes, talking about it. And they also talked about Jigga. And I already told you, Jay Brill is the one that let us all witness the murder by the Haverhill Police Department of Jigga. But like George Floyd, we didn't hear nothing about it except for on channels like the JFK show. But now they have body cameras up there, the Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Exactly. Why are they ass checking somebody's pockets? Because they're not getting anything out of that ass. They ain't getting nothing. They ain't getting no money. That's why they all mad. And that's why they hating. You know, they work off these anonymous counts. Only when people behind them understand how this shit works. You see the patterns in their language, patterns in who account defended and who they attacked, and most importantly, the questions they ask. You can kind of tell. Eventually, the community connected the dots from what I was reading over on Twitter, and the name that surfaced was the Glare. Some people say it was Melanie Little. And some people might say, who cares? It's just a fake account. But once the suspicion landed on the Glare, everything just snapped, right into place. The tone he was talking, the fixation on certain people, his attempts to steer battles between supporters, the questions about loyalty. Come on now, like Turtle Boy and like the Glare, it's not about investigative work. It wasn't strategy. It was messy. Like the Glare is messy. And when someone runs anonymous accounts get exposed by their behavior, it's not a scandal. And some people say, why the hell does it matter? Who the hell cares? It's a fake account. But I think it does matter. You know why? Because it fractured the movement. You're manipulating the narratives. You're steering it. You put supporters against other supporters. You create a lot of distrust. Exactly. Then switched and delegated to Turtle Boy ad after he was called out. Look, I think the real story is it fake accounts? No. I mean, people are creating anonymous. The Sox is used as an agent of chaos. And I think it got exposed who a lot of these fake accounts were. I even heard the BLT was exposed as one of the chat rats. I mean, it just does tell you everything you need to know about these people's priorities. Not justice, not truth, not unity. It's just causing freaking chaos. Turtle Boy will be locked up before the end of January. Yes, actually, that's what I heard. BLT is Toy Thomas, I believe. Chat Rat's wife, I believe. God damn. That Chat Rat dude, that Danny dude, man, he sounds like he's stuck in slow motion. Like the character. What was that cartoon with the elephant with the big friggin' a sloth? There was a sloth in it and the big mammoth elephant, but he reminds me of a sloth. So the Turtle War Room saga, man, what do we learn, right? All this stuff is just so convenient how everything, Jessica got her interview, right? The Lady and the Tramp. That's who Jessica is, the lady and the tramp. My man up there in Swansea, who's right about 50, he says Jessica Machado was Swansea Possum Belly Queen. I said, what? What's a Possum Belly Queen? He said the possum belly is a storage unit under the tractor trailers. I said, no. I said, oh shit. He said, oh yeah, man, you had to have a house party. And you had to have Jessica Machado at the house party. And I was like, damn. So back in high school, Jessica Machado was very promiscuous. And I was like, oh, that title fits perfect, The Lady and the Tramp. So what did we realize about the Total War Room saga, right? Their masks don't stay on for long, right? When they fall, the truth is far less dramatic, but I really appreciate everybody. I just don't like when, all these attacks, and I just couldn't understand about where all this hate was actually, all of a sudden, all these people, that they're pushing all this energy towards attorney Gallica, and I just couldn't really put, it just kind of made no sense at all. But here we go, a Karen Reed inspired diss track. We're gonna play in just a minute. No, I don't have a super chat, but like I said, up in the top left corner, right here where the cursor is, this is connected to my Cash App. Chat rats have been going hot at JFK the past few days. That's all they are, is rats. And what is a rat? The lowest form, so nobody even listens to them. Yeah, they have a little buzz right now, but that's all their content is. They can never break down, what we talk about. They thought people were going to come on there pro Turtle Boy and anti Nan. They're quickly realizing the tide is turning. They're losing control and they can't stand it. Absolutely. Shout out. There are a few people behind dozens of accounts making it look like a lot of noise. Absolutely. Shout out to Rando Supporter. Shout out to Randy as well, man. But yeah, let's get this up there. All right, shout out to Karen Reed. I appreciate everybody, man. Talk to you very, very soon. You know, be safe out there with all that snow coming. That wasn't the actual song. I'm gonna play that right now to end the show. But yeah, shout out to everybody holding it down, keeping it real, keeping it authentic, and always keeping it 100. You know, and don't forget, man, when it's time to ask questions, make sure to show up January 30th up there and ask some questions. You know, I already said somebody was in the chat and they said that Lauren's family's gonna be there and they have questions.
We ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, Kevy kept holding it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your tracks. Freak and real, we ain't stopping now.
I fucked
Shout out
that all
JFK,
up.
Kevy kept
There it
holding
is.
it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your people see through all the guys. Karen's got a story and we're here to tell. It's more than just a game, it's your know your track, yeah. Keep it real podcast. That's where we speak no down on the mess like it's all a game. Talking big, selling our world, but don't it feel lame? Jokes about her parents started making tough, but she lost her home, that struggle is rough. You asked her to rock it with you, to hit the stage, but she turned it down, see who's stuck in the cage. Turtle, where's the hustle, where's the grind? Living on the couch, man, that's no way to unwind. Your case came along, put you on a path. While Karen stays real, you just do the math. Free Karen, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, Kevy kept holding it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your tracks. Free Karen, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, Kevy kept holding it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your tracks. Karen ain't never treated you with hate or spite. Never shared your secrets, never dimmed your light. But you took them shots, throwing dirt in the game, putting her on blast like it's all just for fame. And let's talk about the couch, man, that's where you lay until the truth hit. Then you found your own way, she didn't mock you, nah. She was family, no lie, but you breaking that bond, bro, that's goodbye. Yeah. Turtle, listen up, it's time to rise. Living in that shadow, all those tired alibis. Karen's got a strength, yeah, she knows a place. While you hide behind the hate, can't keep up the pace. Free Karen, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, Kevy kept holding it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your tracks. Free Karen, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, Kevy kept holding it down. J Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtles just a mirror showing all your tracks. Keep it real podcast, that's where we speak no lies. Supporting real people, see through all the guys. Karen's got a story and we're here to tell. It's more than just a game, it's your know your track, yeah. Keep it real podcast, that's where we speak no lies. Supporting real people, see through all the guys. Karen's got a story and we're here to tell. It's more than just a game, it's a living hell. Yeah, yeah. Turtle in the shade, can't you see? Living in the night. Free, can't read. Together we ignite.
Yo, it's the second season, watch us reign supreme. Drake man in the pocket, living out that dream.
Yo, came in hot, yeah. Rookie flames with the spark. Now he's got that
Grew up to the
MVP
New
shine,
England
lighting up the
Patriots,
dark.
man. Let's go.
14-3,
Shout out
we
to the
rising like
Patriots.
the
I love
sun.
the Patriots,
Each game a
man.
playlist, AFC's title only just begun. Over 4,000 yards and 600 on the ground. History in the making when the Patriots around. Feeling like a legend. This ain't just a game. Drake's got the vision. Watch how he's changing names.
MVP like May, making plays all day. Through the highs and the lows, we still on display. 14-3, man, you gotta believe. Patriots on the rise, it's a party, let's to see.
MVP like man, 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 MVP like man,
MVP now, hey.
The vision around, got that charge of energy. 16-3, we taking them down. You feeling me? Even when the pass ain't lighting up the field. Made with the legs that rushes our shield. Digs doing work, crossing that milestone. The beat.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy.
Load up that queen.
Not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
It's more than Family Guy. I know you heard of your boy Japan, and I'm rocking out with Chris Clark. He from the West Coast, I'm from Rhode Island. Let's get it going now. It's how it's going down. Brody got its own style. Smallest state in the nation, but we so proud. Yeah, we so proud. Screaming out loud. Here we go, come on. Haven for the hustlers, scramble for the dollar. Hoes stay corrupt, blood money for tomorrow. Still a plantation, bunch of niggas wearing collars. Whether in the gutter or a fucking brown scholar. And from the east to the west, little Brody in the house, man, we always been fresh. And from the north to the south, I love where I'm from, better watch your mouth. We from. And where you from? Where you from?
You know, good luck to the New England Patriots today, you know, first and foremost.
From the sidelines, I see through your act. All state selection, man, that's just a trap. You flexing hard, but we don't respect. Riding that wave, but it's all a defect. You here cause we let you, don't get it twisted. The real